say thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for health that given to us. And don't forget to our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who bring us from the darkness to the lightness, from the bad way to the good way. Before start our presentation, let me introduce myself and my team. We are from the first group. We'll share about types of bilingualism and bilingual education. My name is Nirmala Ashari as the first speaker, Bunda Hartina as the second speaker. We will talk about types of bilingualism, and Suri Indah Pratiwi as the third speaker, and the last is Kak Ratnadila. They will explain about the types of bilingual education. Okay, let's start the explanation about types of bilingualism from the first speaker. Thanks for a chance. My name is Nirmala Ashari as the first speaker. In this opportunity, I will explain about types of bilingualism. Before we start about types of bilingualism, let me know about the definition of bilingual and bilingualism. First, bilingual. Bilingual is a person who uses at least two languages with some degree of proficiency. In here, it means a person know two and use two languages with some degree proficiency. And the next is bilingualism. Bilingualism is defined as the use of at least two languages either by an individual or by a group of speakers. So in here, bilingualism, it means use two languages in individual or in a group of speakers. And the next, we will talk about types of bilingualism. There are 5 types of bilingualism. The first is early bilingualism. The second is late bilingualism. The third, additive bilingualism. The fourth, subtractive bilingualism. And the last is passive bilingualism. In here, I will explain 2 types bilingualism, and the other will continue by my friends Bunda Hartina. Let we start about early bilingualism. There are 2 types explanation about early bilingualism. The first is simultaneous early bilingualism, and the second, consecutive early bilingualism. Simultaneous early bilingualism, it refers to a child who learns two languages at the same time from birth. In here, it means the child know two languages when from birth, such as they learn English and Indonesian language from birth at the same time. This type of bilingualism is usually found in homes where parents speak 2 or more languages. The next is about consecutive or successive early bilingualism. It refers to a child who has already partially acquired a first language and then learns a second language early in childhood. In here, it means a child got got first language, got first language uh, in, for example, in their home, and then learn a second language early in childhood. They got from such as in the school, For example, when a child moves to an environment where the dominant language is not his native language, they will learn another language from the environments. When a child moves to uh, to such as their family moves to another country, and in their environments speak another language with where the other language is not their native language. Okay, the next is late bilingualism. This is the last explanation about types of bilingualism from me. Late bilingualism. Late bilingualism refers to bilingualism when the second language is learned after the age of 6 or 7, especially when it is learned in adolescence or adulthood. Late bilingualism occurs after the acquisition of the first language. This is, for example, they when they age of 6 or 7, they go to school, and in their school learn another language when where they not learn in their home, because in their home just speak in one language, such as Indonesian language, and then they go to school, and in their school speak uh, in their school speak another language such as English language, so they learn another language from their school. It means late bilingualism. Okay, and the next types will continue by my friends. I think enough. Thank you very much for your nice attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Hartina, the second speaker of Group 1. Will continue the discussion about the types of bilingualism. I will talk about the three others type of bilingualism, the name, the definition, and the example of them. The fourth types of bilingualism is additive or compound bilingualism, where a person has acquired two languages in the same or balanced manner and use it in the same frequent. It is a strong bilingualism. For example, I am a Buginese. Of course, my first language is Buginese, and then my second language is Indonesian. I use both of them in full time. When I go to school, I will use my second language with my teacher, with my friends, and then when I back to home, I will use my first language. It is Buginese with my family or my child, my neighborhood. And the second types of bilinguals is subtractive bilingualism, where a person learn or acquire their second language, and then they use the second language most in their daily life. In this case, their mastery of their first language will decrease, while their mastery in the second language will increase because of the frequently use of that language. For example, I'm as a Bugis. My first language is Bugis, and then my second language is Indonesian. Uh, I use Indonesian mostly in my daily life. Uh, that make me make my mastery in Bugis decrease, while my mastery in Indonesian language will increase. That is a subtractive bilingualism. And the last types of bilingualism is passive bilingualism, where a person uh, is able to understand the second language that he acquired. They are able to read, they are able to understand by reading, they are able to understand by listening, but they cannot produce the language. They cannot speak it out, they cannot write it out. That is a passive bilingualism. For example, I'm a Bugis, and then my environment or my neighbor maybe speak Indonesian, and then I acquire that language, but I cannot speak out Indonesian language. I cannot write Indonesian well because I don't learn it. I don't study. I only acquire. So that is a passive bilingualism when you are not able to speak it out or produce that language. Well, that is all about the three other types of bilingualism. Thank you for your attention, and billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, well, hello guys, good morning. I'm Surinda Pratiwa as the third speaker. As for I can see I'm in hospital now since yesterday. Actually, midwife was saying to me that I'm in the first opening section, so you guys can imagine what I'm feeling now, with all of pain, with infuse and so on. But I'll keep my best. So in this part, I will explain you guys about typologies of bilingual education by Becker and 2011. You can see on my PowerPoint that I have sent, there are mainstreaming submersion education. The second one is mainstreaming with pull-out classes, and the third one is segregationist education. So we start from submersion education. This is the assimilation of minority language pupils within the major schools who are taught throughout the curriculum in the language of the majority without paying attention to their mother tongue. So in this part, the minority language of students combined with the majority language of students. They are in one classes. They are guided by the teacher who are fluent in English and the teacher from native speaker. So they are expected to only use the majority language in class, not the mother tongue. And in this case, the students may adapt it, may motivate, and also down. The teacher obligated to use simple vocabulary in this class, but there are curiosity about these types. The example of these types is in the first meeting, When the first meeting, the minority of students get a difficult way to understand what the teacher said, and then after the second meeting, when the second meeting, the students get lazy to go to school because of bullying, because of wait because of they don't understand what the teacher said, and their friend underestimate their self, also bullying. And then the teacher who have higher and speak or accept the matter will move to the higher cognitive class. Okay, the second one is about mainstreaming with pull-out classes. These types of education consist in withdrawing minority language children from mainstream classes for compensatory lessons in the majority language. So in this class, the students who are minority are collected in one classes, and it will make the students lose the greater opportunity to participate among the students on the majority of language students, and then they get a greater sensitivity to the teacher in language, and then it will delete their first mother tongue. And then the third one is segregational education. It occurs where minority language speakers and majority language speakers are completely divided. Minority children access to the majority school. Okay, because of something wrong, I will continue my types. Okay, the third one is segregationist educations. This is occurs where minority language speakers and majority language speakers are completely divided to minority children. The access to majority school is denied. They attend different schools where the program is taught in their own languages. So segregational education is only the minority of language in the school. The learners can access to the majority language of students, and then the sum of majority of language in this class is there are monolingual educations. It will be using for minority to be apartheid. Okay, that's all my speech. Thank you. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Ratnadila, and I will continue my friend's explanation about the typology of bilingual education. Before I explain the typology bilingual education, the first I will explain the meaning of bilingual education. Bilingual education is a simple label for a complex phenomenon or variety of educational programs involving two or more. In here, we can conclude the meaning of bilingual education is the use of two languages in school by students or by teacher. The topology of bilingual education. The next, transitional bilingual education. These programs consist in teaching minority children in their language until they are taught to be proficient enough in the majority language to cope within mainstream education. For example, this implies that children easily acquire fluency in the second language rather than fluency in their mother tongue. The intended proficiency here is fluency in speaking, and this method is most commonly applied in the United States. The aims to help translation students learn English as quickly as possible and can compete with friends with friends later. And the next, mainstream education with foreign language teaching. It is about foreign language lesson as a subject in the curriculum. For example, category or specialist these lessons according to the curriculum and the needs of students in learning English. And the last, separatist education. It is about a type of education also called secessionist because a minority language tends to detach itself from the majority language. For example, here, in the situation of separatists, minority groups strive to keep their members away from the strong influence of mainstream society to protect their native language, culture, or religion. Uh, for example, some American Indians find their children uh, turning away from their native language and follows a strong culture influence popular in English because of they they can carry out their own education in their native language apart from America influence. Although young people remain native speakers or English because mainstream languages are difficult to avoid. I think that's all my explanation and thank you.
That is all our explanation about the types of bilingualism and bilingual education. Thank you very much, and you can give your comment, your addition or your question by writing your comment or your addition or your question in the chat room below. Billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.